This is Gabriel Gonzalez, and I am here with UFC Heavyweight Jared Vanderaa, who's coming off his big win over Justin Tafa. First off, Jared, it's good to see you back looking like your handsome self. I think everyone wants to know the cut. I mean, what did it end up? How many stitches? How quick did it heal? All that good stuff.
Uh, what was it? It's still right here. It was only like three stitches, but it's pretty deep. Like it honestly, this is one of the thicker like scar tissue injuries that I have. So, and we had the stitches in for about 4 or 5 days, so it wasn't that bad. But it sucked because I got the stitches out the day I got my wisdom teeth pulled.
Oh, so was that just a coincidence that you were gonna be a double whammy, or did you end up having to get the wisdom teeth short notice out?
No, originally it was supposed to be like 2 weeks before the fight, and then everyone was like, "Don't do it. Your jaw tender." And I'm glad because yeah, my jaw is fucking tender. Like it still hurts. I was teaching arm bars this morning, and one of my students just touched my face
Oh,
ever gently, and I was like, "Oh my god, like be nice."
well, I'm glad that you're doing all right, man. Let's go back to it. Just now that you've had some days to reflect on the fight, just what did you think of your performance? Because that was obviously one of the most fun matches on the entire fight card.
I'm literally currently watching it right now. I have it in its entirety. Like every time I watch it, something would come up, so I was just like, I'm halfway through the second round. Uh, I just busted open in this fight. Um, yeah, no, like from what I remember and what I recall, there are certain things that I like. I was expecting more from Tafa, and certain things that I was surprised he didn't do or did. The fact that he would clinch up a lot more, I wasn't like a piece of me kind of knew that was a possibility because of just our height difference, but I didn't realize it was going to be something like how strong he was. Like you look at him, and I wouldn't say he's soft. He looks like a Samoan Islander. We all know how strong they get. They just boom, and he was no exception. I was like, God damn, he's strong. Um, but I was able to win the clinch exchanges, so that worked out really well for me. So those were a few of the things that I was kind of shocked by. I was shocked that I almost doubled the numbers in the striking department compared to him, which I mean I'm glad I did because that's I think a big factor on the reason why I won. And yeah,
Uh, I know you've addressed it in the post fight, but the blood. I mean, looking back at it, you've seen the pictures, you've obviously watched it back. Are you surprised by how much you were bleeding?
no, I bleed so much that it doesn't surprise me. To be honest with you, the fight that you've seen of mine live with Mr. Tony Lopez, I didn't cut, which was a rarity. Like I was like, oh my god, this is what it feels like to not bleed in a fight. I was like, this is nice. I don't have to rush home, take a shower. Whereas normally I'm like it's just spewing blood. One of my LFA fights, I cut like right here and like right here. Oh, that was a bad bleed. That was covered over me and Vern. Uh, but again, I'm a bleeder. I bleed a lot, so
I was,
not surprised.
I was gonna say, you set the expectations high for me. I see you fight live once. Oh, this guy's tough, could take a punch now. It's like, oh my gosh, now I need to know to expect that, the face of death and blood every time you fight, Jared.
Yeah,
You're missing
like,
me. And
like I'm
correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't really get too cut up in your contender series fight either, so.
yeah yeah, but I bruised after that fight. I there's somewhere in my camera roll just a picture of all the bruising, like every shot that like looked like it hit my like there's a few shots that they grazed my face and hit my shoulder. He gave me like a hickey, one punch in my neck, and it just swelled up with a hickey. I called Laura. I'm like, babe, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, the video evidence.
It was my. Yeah, she was like, yeah, you can see before and after where he hit you in the neck, and it showed. I'm like, cool.
It's like, babe, I know you weren't. It's like, I know some other girl wasn't messing with my business.
Yeah, it was just one of those moments where we're like, I was like, shit, like, this is going to be a fight that I don't want.
You talked about it in your pre-fight interview over on Media Day, so I wanted to ask you, was that fight, do you feel like you were Goku versus Frieza? Did you think like it was more maybe Gohan versus Cell? What famous Dragon Ball Z bout did you feel like that was with you and Mr. Tafa?
I'd say something along the lines of Goku and Vegeta, where Goku always will edge out Vegeta.
I mean, I would have said Gohan just because, you know, he was really bloodied up in that one before he finally got the job done, but I definitely get what you're saying, because I know you wanted to go to number 2. You want to go to Super Saiyan 2, you didn't want to grow your hair out, which I respect.
Yeah, like I can't do Saiyan 3. Plus, me with no eyebrows, I don't think it would be cute.
Which one takes the cake in terms of the series? Dragon Ball Z, Original, Super? Which one do you like?
I think they all have. Okay, so I think Z would just be the big one, just because I think it's drawn. But I like the Dragon Ball. I haven't sat down and really watched Super, but I liked the new Brawl. I did watch the Brawly movie, which I'm glad they made Brawly, fucking Brawly. Though the one thing is, I hate the fact that they never did anything with, like, I don't like Ultra Instinct Goku. Like, I miss the GT Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta. Like, that like, their, like, monkey fur on their arms and stuff, and the tail grows back. I was like, that was a dope design. Like, I like that progression, and I wish they would go back to that over the blue and red hair, the white hair, or whatever. Like, let's go back to that and, you know, bring back the gorillas that they were representative.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the Ford design was a little underrated, and I know that a lot of people criticize GT, so I get where they're like, okay, we're gonna forget that happened, but no, I hear you. I feel like, you know, they had some room to bring it in and, you know, give it a fresh coat of paint, but I don't know. Now, where do you stand? In terms of the martial arts anime, are you like Dragon Ball Z over Naruto? Because I feel like that's the biggest battle with fans. It's like, no, there's only one kung fu anime that's king. Which one do you think it is?
All right, I think it's just a generational thing, to be honest with you, because you look at like basically anyone my age group that grew up watching anime will all say Dragon Ball Z. Now, people maybe 2 to 5 years younger than me might say Naruto, because that's what they grew up with. So there's going to be the nostalgia factor, and then you got these new kids, like the new people that are drawn to anime, that are like, oh, this and oh, that is the, like, My Hero Academia might be the closest one, or Jujutsu Kaisen, or Demon Slayer. Granted, I think, but like one of the newer age, it's just, I think it's when you grow up. And personally, like, I mean, when it comes to straight martial arts, like, none of them are full martial arts. They're definitely shonen based, hero based, which I'm perfectly fine with. When it comes to, like, one of my favorite martial arts anime, it'd be Kenshi the Mightiest Disciple. Just because I wouldn't say it holds true to the martial arts, but it brings more so the realisticness of the martial arts. Like, my favorite, I think his name is Apajai. I haven't seen him in a while, and he's the Muay Thai guy. Like, he's this big dude that's just the carefree, like nice guy, and then he starts kicking things, and things just start breaking. And he's like, no.
No, I remember that a bit. I remember it. I think for the anime fans, one last one on that note. Have you built any new Gundams lately, or have you had to take a back seat? Been busy?
No. So during fight week, I built. Let me check.
Let's go for it.
uh,
MMA cribs.
I built the Gun Hong Zong. Oh, God, I'm butchering that. Gun Darnius, and then I bought recently. I bought the Barbados fourth form and the Lupus Rex form that I haven't got to, and I still have the Astray Gundam that I haven't got to yet. But I built the other one during fight week, so I've done one during fight week just to kill time.
Is it a typical fight week thing for you to do, or is it just happen to be what you brought with you this time?
No, but considering with the COVID and the restrictions, there's a lot. There's a lot of downtime. Like, like a piece of me is like, oh, let's go work out, but it's like, well, you don't want to kill yourself. It's the week of your fight. You want to recover. You want to make sure you are closest to 100% that you want. Sometimes I'll read. I was going to read the light novel High School D&D. Like I have the manga, I have the series, but they're finally doing the English rendition of the light novel, so I bought that too.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't read the light novel just yet, because I just got distracted. I had my boy Jamal in the corner. He's just a fun time to have around. We could bullshit for hours, literally. So it was, nice to have him to kind of kill the time.
Well, that's how you know you got to ride or die, right?
Yeah.
Jared, I want to ask you because I think one thing, compared to the Spivak fight, outside of obviously the outcome, I just felt like you were just so much more comfortable. And I know you discussed it a bit, the UFC jitters and all that other stuff, and you felt sick, and I think that was one refreshing. Thank you for letting us kind of into that. Not a lot of athletes kind of want to admit that, oh yeah, the nerves, really did affect me. But just talk to me about your experience. Was everything just finally dialed in? Do you just feel like, hey, I know what to expect. I know what to do. I'm back at the apex, the same place, and all that.
Yeah, it was just okay. There's this level of I know I train UFC fighters. I helped with Dom when he was fighting John Jones. I helped Sam with as many camps as I possibly can with him. I've helped guys train for fights. And I'm like, there are days where I will outwork them and outclass them. Not to be like I'm better than them, but there are just days where I am the better one in the room that day. Now, but I don't look at it as like, oh, I'm better than you are, I outclass you. It's like, hey, I know you well enough to know what you're going to do next. I know what you're going to do. I've seen your moveset time and time again that I'm comfortable fighting you. So eventually I get in myself, it's like the only reason why I'm beating these guys isn't because I'm better than them, it's just because I know them. I've learned how to beat them. So when I got into the UFC, when I fought Spivak, I just kept on like, oh, this guy, oh, what does he know? How good is he? Like all these questions and emotions, like, oh, this is UFC. No, you don't the doubts of do you belong here? Like, oh, these guys are straight up killers, blah 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 blah. And then halfway through it, you're I'm down on the ground, and he's stuck in my guard and half guard, and I'm like, why am I not responding to this? He can't get out of my half guard. It's he not to be like, oh, look it, he just couldn't get out of my half guard, and it didn't dawn on me until it's way too late. It's like, dude, he couldn't get out of your half guard. He couldn't, progress. You had the ability to go further, but you didn't. You failed to do so, and it wasn't him. It was you. was this mental thing that took over and caused you to lose, not because Spivak is supremely better than you, but you failed to give yourself credit where credit's due. You're the one that put in the work. You're the one that was capable of beating him, and you failed to deliver that.
Well, I think that that's certainly one of the things that I think we saw in the fight with Tafa is that you're just everything from your demeanor, and if I may say so, just even in between rounds, I was like, Jared just it's in the eyes. He looks dialed in, and I think you really could see that difference in the fight, man. So for people who follow you, I think that I'm very proud of you, like I was. And of course, I gotta close it out. I gotta ask you that question. Who do you want next? I know they talked about, Arlovsky and other guys like that. You're very good at calling names. You just have you know what? You know the roster very well. You know where you're at. Has there been somebody that you have on your radar, or have you not thought about it since the fight?
Okay, so me and my manager just got done talking about this, like maybe an hour ago, if that. So on the same card, I fought Ben Roswell and Chris Barnett. I was like, hey, I just got done fighting, you got done fighting, like, let's fight. Like, no disrespect, and I'll bring that part up in a second. Mm-hmm. But no respect, like, do you want to fight? I want to fight. Like, we're in the fighting business. Like, do you want a quick turnaround? Because I would like a quick turnaround. So I'm like, hey, you want to fight? Well, he goes on the Believe You Me podcast with Mr. Bisbee and said that's disrespectful to call him out. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Isn't that what you guys do?
But we fight. Like, when I bumped into him, I greeted him, like, because it's fucking Ben Rothwell. Like, damn, like, that's cool. Like, I get to fight on the same card as him. Like they're like, to be able to have the ability to even call him out, that's just awesome on my part. But I was just like, hey, you want to fight? I want to fight. I thought you were a fighting type of person. Like, that's what we do. So
correct me if I'm wrong. Is he right behind me? Yeah, he might be.
Yeah, he's right.
I want to acknowledge, just like, I believe I am in front of that poster where he's at. Hey, coincidence, that was one of the first ones I covered, and I realized, like, I think he's on that one.
Yeah, no.
I will get one with you up here soon, Jared, I promise you, okay?
But it was just, like, then he goes on to, I think, MMA Junkie, and basically Mick was like, no. And then I asked my manager, and then Mick was like, yeah, not happening. I'm just like, but why? I mean, like I'm not gonna fight with Boss Man. If the opportunity comes up to fight him, I'm down to fight him. Like, it's not because I'm, oh my god, scared. Like, I would love to be able to share the ring with him or Orlovsky. Like, I looked up to these guys. Like, I'm not here to make them a name. I want to fight, people I grew up enjoying. To be able to, like, I either beat them or, like, hey, what's the worst? You lose to Orlovsky and Rothwell? Like, these are bad motherfuckers in their own right. Like, I wouldn't say it's a win-win situation, but it's a win-win situation. It's like, these are people that I respect, and I think they're amazing in the sport, and it'd just be awesome to share the octagon with them. And, yeah, so, but based on what I'm told, I've been denied that fight. Not for any other reasons than just kind of a no. I've heard that he's been denied the fight too, so we kind of are on the same page of, like, it's a no, but if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to be like, oh, you have to fight me. Oh no, I'm not that good. I just called him out just because we fought on the same card. I felt like it would have just been easier, and I felt like, it'd be a fun fight. Like, he's a very unorthodox person. Like, I think it would just been a fun fight. And so I'm kind of stuck there. But I'm also open. I'm not one of those people like it has to be Ben Rothwell or else. Like fucking, I would take anybody. Like I've heard some people say is it Dontel Mays. I was
That
like
could be fun.
I'm open to that one. Um, yeah, I'm like there was someone said Sergey pop up.
Pavlovich.
Yeah, yeah.
I know
Uh,
who you mean. I know who you mean.
yeah. I'm sorry
They,
if I.
they just want you to fight another European.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe because I blend in. Like I got asked several times if I'm Russian. And I'm like, no. Like I'm big, but I'm not Russian. I'm a little bit more northern.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you got a little bit more of the, English Irish thing going on, especially with the beard now.
I know I have some English in me, but from my dad's side, it's like Danish Dutch, and even he's like, yeah, we might be part of the Norwegian descent. So I mean, and if you know anything about the colonization of England and Ireland, it was just England was just dominated by the freaking like all forms of the Vikings, like the Nords, the Germanic people, then the French. Like they were just onslaughted for a couple hundred centuries, and they produced big white people like me.
Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong, Jared, and if I am, I apologize. Were you and Lauren expecting another baby?
Yep.
Oh my god. Well, congratulations. So tell me everything. Do you know if it's boy or girl yet? When they're due?
It's a girl. Due original date was August 27th, but it's looking now to be before or the latest will be the first week of August.
Oh, wow.
Just because Lauren likes to get all the issues with the pregnancy, and so they're basically telling her like, "Hey, we're not going to keep it full term just because it'll ruin the baby and you if we did, even if you do everything right,
Still
it be
dangerous?
that's a very high, she is a very high risk pregnancy.
Oh.
Uh, but I mean, she's doing everything she can properly, and so far, the doctors are saying good things to her. It's like, yeah, you're doing this right, you're doing that right. So she's at least listening to them, not me, but them. So I'll take that L.
Well, you know what? Certainly, best of luck, man. I mean, how does that feel? Because obviously, you already have, your fiance, you have your daughter, you're gonna have another daughter. Is there any, worry that you're just being outnumbered too much by the women in your house, or are you, happy and just content girl dad over there?
I'm fine with that. Like I'm a hard ass. I'm glad I don't have a son. Like people are like, oh, you. I'm like, no, I don't think it would be like I'd be a hard ass on them. Like I don't know. It's just like I don't like the climate of like how men are becoming nowadays. Like I'm not knocking them for connecting with their emotions. Just but everyone's so sensitive, I guess. And then like even if my son's polite, like somehow it's mean, and I'm like I don't know how. Like okay, I am called me old fashioned, but I will say hello, ma'am. How are you, ma'am? And I have been yelled at. Like I am not a ma'am. I'm like what are you? I'm a lady. I'm like fucking same thing.
It's like somehow saying hi, lady is just worse.
Yeah. And I'm like, ma'am is short for mademoiselle. And it's like French, the language of love. Like, God. Like, and I just like I don't like. I just kind of don't like how things are playing apart. Like, I'm worried for my daughter, but I have a feeling she's gonna be a lot like her mom, an asshole. So I think I'm solid there.
I was gonna say, do you ever look forward to the day like, oh, some guy wants to spend some time with your daughter, and you'd be like, hey, just, you fire up your ESPN. It's like, just remember, that's me.
Nah, like, okay, I'm not that dad. Like, okay, realistically, it's going to happen. She's going to date somebody. Yeah, I'll ask that person to be like, treat her with respect and stuff like that. But I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna scare you because, and like, here's like my thing. And I like if if you raise your daughter right, or if you give her a reason to find a man that is, treats her the way you treat her, you're not going to have to worry about some scumbag. Not saying like, there's always a wolf in sheep's clothing type of things, but if you show her the way that she needs to be treated on going on dates, just being around her and stuff like that, and like what you treat her mother, then you shouldn't have to worry about the guy she's bringing home because she'd be like, okay, da 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 da. And yeah, if there was a guy that crossed the line, and thought he was gonna be funny, I wouldn't show him. He would just feel it. Like he like if she was like, oh, he hit me. Don't worry, baby girl. I was like,
Team Quest is gonna be rolling in.
No, not even that. Like I'd just be like, I got it. Don't even worry about it.
Well,
like, I'd beat him and his daddy up.
Well,
and yeah, maybe throw a shovel at the mom too because she fucked up.
Oh my gosh, Jared, you are certainly one of a kind, man. And let's just say I fear for whoever thinks they're gonna be cute and try anything with either of your kids. So just know I fear for them, man. So definitely, and best of luck, obviously, to you and Lauren. I hope everything goes well, and just sending those positive vibes. Oh, finally, I guess, do you want to try to fight before all of that, or do you feel like you might wait until, baby number two arrives and then think about getting back in there?
I don't. Yeah, this is another L I have to take. I have to wait until this next baby's out. That was already decided for me. Like, I saw her right after the fight because she stayed in Vegas at a different hotel. She was like, you're not fighting until this fucking kid's out. Like, this was too much for me. You're not fighting again. I was like, tell your manager September. I was like, but nope, September. That's the next fight. Or if you're lucky, the baby popping out in July, then but think September. I'm like, okay. That's not a fight I want.
You know what? I think you're picking your battles perfectly, my man. I really do. Well, Jared, definitely thank you for the time. Once again, congratulations. That was a lot of fun to watch between you and Justin Tafa. And I know I speak for a lot of people. We are very much excited to see you back in the cage in September or later. So definitely looking forward to it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.